I'm joined by Emmanuel Bosire. So remember, as Siasa is all about your opinion, we ask questions about matters politics, matters governance, matters state of the nation, and then we get your answers as well as your opinions on how we can even better things as a nation. Or what do you think about some of the systems that have been put in place in our country and in the world to probably try and aid us living a better life or even ensuring that our lives get worse? Probably, yes. That is what we're going to be discussing on Ask Siasa. And today we have two topics on the table, two questions on the table. One, of course, you know what's happening outside. It's raining. It's raining. There are places that have been flooded. Probably kama unaoji, labda nyumba yako ina float mahali. Like vitu zina float ndani kwa nyumba mahali because of the rains, because of the rains. We've seen in places like Garissa, roads being swept away and all that. We've seen places like Mombasa, what is happening. So we're going to touch on that, but we're going to look at the exchange or the war between the governors as well as the deputy president on matters El Nino and funds. But before that, so the government has launched, that is through the Ministry of Interior, has distributed tablets in order to track President Ruto's directives. By President Ruto's directives, we're talking about projects that are happening in different parts of the country, of course. And Emmanuel, I don't know, what do you know so far about Project? My producer told me it's Project Beta. You know how it's supposed to be pronounced, but we don't know what they said in Kenya when they were making it.
It's a good project. A government has to move with time. We are in a modern technological world whereby majority of our programs in governments are done in paperwork. So transforming them into digital platforms will increase the efficiency of the government's performance and on time. So launching such a program, it's a good program. Now the question is, what will it come with? Obviously, we know that it will come with disadvantages.
No.
And some of the disadvantages is that are Kenyans and leaders in those offices willing to transform or to move with this technology? One is going to be used by people who've really known what that system is. As a country, we've been saying that we need a system whereby we can be able to track all our performances. Just like developed worlds, they have this system. And Kenya is not going to be the first country. Countries like the United States, when you do a mistake, it's stored in the system. Even if you are in grade 1, if you are in 10 years, even if you are 70 years, it is in the system. And wherever you go to any government office, you only enter your number, social number, just like ID number in our country. And it brings your profile. Not the one you've created, but the one that's known by the government platforms. So here, if you did a mistake maybe years back, they know that this is your character, you were rude maybe in school, you did this to your teacher, you did this to this and that. So, and that one has helped them to control the population. With Kenyans, we are now hitting almost 60 million people. So we are in a population growing country. And when we have these things moving on, we also need to bring up systems in place that are going to help the government and help us as Kenyans to be able to have a track record of who is who. And this one is going to help us as a country. Now, talking about government performance, about what President Ruto has done, not all things really need a system to tell that you, as President Ruto, have been performed. Now, at the moment, we say that so far the best performing president we ever had as a country was the third president of our country, Emilio Kibaki. He never had this system. We did not have the better system that tracked his performance. But by looking and seeing things moving, things improving, it's evidence enough to tell Kenyans that you are performing leader. Now this one, again, Kenyans have technological systems. People have mobile phones. People have computers. Why don't they bring that program just like a software that can be installed and used in people's gadgets, other than you as a government spending a lot of money issuing out tablets and computers to people who might end up not using it well. To other extent, it can help in public participation, according to my view. Now that modern public participation, I think it should be done in social media, because if sub chiefs and chief and clan elders call for people for a meeting, maybe for a baraza, majority will not turn out. And the few who will turn out will not give enough evidence of what they need to be prioritized in their area. So bringing such a system and bringing it in social media, and maybe get to know in platforms, in WhatsApp, in Facebook, where majority of the people are. So you find out that someone can be more exposed in other countries, in other parts of the country, and give a public opinion that can help their country where he or she comes from. Where we have reached much of development is being taken to rural towns, local areas, so that we don't have much of local to urban migration.
No.
Now, with technology and bringing much of remote jobs, as they are saying, they will be people will be tasked to do their jobs from their homes. So this also would want to task our government. People want to do jobs from their homes where they stay and do other things, maybe farming, maybe other businesses, and enjoy life there. Not all people in towns enjoy living in towns. So with this technology bettering and tracking President Ruto, his progress can even disappoint him. Because Kenyans will come up and say, want to track his unfulfilled promises. If at the moment, first, they will not even trust this program. Because first, he has been seen as a leader who's not consistent in making fulfilled promises. So much of what he says does not come to happen. Even if it comes to happen, it delays the limit that he had placed. So if you say that in the next 3 months, I'm going to reduce the price of cooking gas to this amount, until today, it has never materialized. So maybe it will come to happen maybe next year. Still, at the minds of Kenyans is that he is one of those who cannot be reliable. Now, talking maybe other disadvantages about this better program is Kenyans will like dodging responsibilities. It's good you can have that system, and then you want to. One of the things they were talking about is about security for purposes. And majority of us Kenyans, I don't know if we are ignorant or what, or lazy. Majority of us, when we are being messed up, we don't even go and take the OB numbers. Even me personally, when things are done wrong to me, I don't go and take an OB number. I just assume and do other things. But you find out majority of Kenyans, only a few number want their details to be in government systems. So they rather use other different alternative, even numbers, if they want to, even when they want to transact something.
But you're already in the system, whether you like it or not, as long as you're a citizen of that country.
What I mean is people don't want to continue being more in that system. Like what I want to say, there are people who even don't want to be taken photographs.
Oh, yes.
There are people who don't want to see cameras. There are people, when you tell them, let's take a photo, they will run.
Most definitely, yeah.
And there are people who cannot fully perform better when there's a system in place.
Yeah.
So there are people, even these biometrics that are being used into entering offices. Other people have denied them, and they want to still return to the old fashion, where I come and write my name at the time I came in.
Yeah.
But wherever they hear about biometrics, they do what? They disappear.
Yeah.
So such things will be coming up with any technology. But we want to believe that, to me, as suggestions, is that if they were to get another means whereby it's done like a software or an application that is up to date, just like websites that's fully updated. Like the Public Service Commission has a very updated website,
Yeah.
whereby a majority have applied for jobs from there. They have gotten those jobs without having to go to any person's office. So I think if this better will help us as a country track not only President Ruto's performance, but including to our governors, to our MCAs, to all our leaders. So you counter check the manifestos, what they have launched, the time limit that has been placed for it, the money allocated for that project, and who's the contractor, who are the subcontractors, and when will it be fully launched, and who will it serve its purpose. Yeah.
And of course, when you talk about digital systems, and you've mentioned a lot of things, a lot of questions are raised. Of course, number one, part of the question, when you talk about the issues of crime and all that, we know that it's easy for crime to actually be committed, or it's easy for systems to be hacked and all that through the digital means. So obviously the question of digital literacy also comes in, especially to who's going to handle these gadgets, who's going to be filling in this information, how is this system going to work? Because I don't know, most probably it's still in its testing phase or something like that. Because we also see different, tukiangalia sasa kama saizi kwa ground, it has been difficult to sort of fully track or to even show the progress of projects, because a lot of projects stalled. So why as a country do we need now a digital system to monitor or to of course it's part of technology and all that, but why do we need a system to monitor projects, whereas even when kuna, maybe we look at the roads, physical contractors are supposed to be on the roads and all that, feed information to systems and all that not functioning? What is the guarantee that this thing is going to work? And also seeing the issue that the system has also will also have budgetary analyzation and actual expenditure, of course, in the different regions and counties. It's going to show that.
What I was trying to say, these things, the government is being guarded by reports. And these reports have been, in most cases, been done manually, written down, and maybe to the far extent being typed. Not that they are not there. Let's check, for instance, the roads. As we know that there are three major types of roads in our country. There are roads being built by national government. There are roads being built by the county government. And there are roads that are being moved by international governments. So you find out that suppose the national government is building 500-kilometer road, and then it does what? A tender is given for contractors to do what? To apply for that tender. And then the one who will take the tender will be brought to name, which will be written, such and such company was given this tender to construct this kilometer road, and then the expected start date will be this time. And in most cases, the tendering, you find out that around 50% you use your money as your contractor until completion, and then the government will do what? Pay you the full amount. So those things are being written down. So in most cases, they don't reach the public because either they are in the systems in offices where they don't come to the public, and if they come, only a few are able to get them. But if we go by this system that they want to bring, whereby if you go and log in maybe to that system, such road, this road that the government gave, and they are updated up to the last moment, what kilometers have been performed and what are the challenges they have faced so far. At times, there's a time the government can come and launch a road, a project, and does not give money. It just comes and launches a project and says that I, as the government official, have given this amount. In the next 3 or 4 years, we want to see this project to completion. But no money has been allocated for that project. So you find out that most times this money, by the time it will be given out, you find out maybe a transition in government has been done. maybe the current governor might not be re-elected come the next time. But the project has done what? Has started.
No.
Now what will happen is that by the time that money is being allocated, this project will have gone where? Missing. And the next administration will be starting another project. But if we have this system whereby people will come and question, where did this project go? And you know, these are intentions we have as Kenyans. Normal citizens, we have good intentions to our country, but our leaders don't have good intentions at all to our country. That's why I've been always telling you, they see us as voters. Wherever they see us, even when you go to some of their offices, they want to treat you well because, especially if you seem to be someone influential, people treat that person well. Those are what? Those are votes. You know, I'm saying this because I've been somewhere and someone was telling, don't leave someone go hungry. You know, those are votes we are destroying. So if they're giving you tea, they're not giving you tea as a Kenyan, as a way of hospitality. But they're giving you in return of what? A vote that's going to cast come the next general election.
No.
So that's why I'm saying that we can have good intentions. We can sit here and discuss how this project is going to help Kenyans.
No.
But we don't know what is the intentions of those who have brought what? Who have brought that system. Because they can have a system that they have told us from the outside is going to track our performance. But instead, maybe it's going to be used in voting. You know, Kenyans. You remember the Huduma number?
Yeah.
You know, one of the challenges that we have when technology comes is that we as Kenyans, as you were saying about digital literacy, majority of us, even those who know, will sell this propaganda that this we are voting for come 2027. Just as that propaganda was sold in 2000, is it 2021, when Huduma number was being launched?
It was before COVID, I'm not wrong.
Yeah, when it was coming.
2019.
When Huduma number, one of the challenges that is faced, and I want to believe that it's still the same number that they want to bring us, the new government. It's the same number. It's only they've changed the name. They will change the name, but it will always remain the same number. So when it was coming, people were selling this propaganda that we are voting come 2022 elections. We are just pre-voting. And these are going to be kept. I don't know if you're getting.
Yeah, get the propaganda that was being spread here.
From the propaganda idea, but not what maybe I believe in.
Yeah.
Because that's technology.
Yeah.
And when technology advances, it comes with advantages and disadvantages. But when you find out people who don't trust in technological advancements, now, like one of the challenges that the better might face is that of this technology that it might face is a challenge of digital literacy.
Yeah.
You know, there are people, in as much we say that we are in a modern world, there are people up to today don't know to file their returns alone. And majority even have gone to universities.
Yeah.
They don't know how to fill their returns.
Yeah.
There are people who cannot even apply for themselves government services. Things that the government has made them easily accessible to mobile phones, to your digital device, to your computer. But majority have to go to the cyber for someone to do what?
To do the returns for them, to do applications for them.
Something that you ought to have done you yourself.
Yeah.
And then now something is coming that's going to help us track the government. How possible is it?
No.
We as far as a country, and if I challenge the same administration in 2013, the head of state then was the deputy president. He had promised Kenyans that every grade 1 student who was going to start school was to be given what?
A tablet.
A tablet.
No.
Did you see them being given?
In some places, yes.
They gave out, but not to every.
Yeah, not to every.
They gave samples.
Yeah.
But I want to believe that a lot of billions was spent. So again, we don't have consistency. If we had consistency of track recording, that maybe the Jubilee administration of 2013 promised laptops. If the next term they come in, where do they give that one? So imagine if by 2013 they are given to every grade 1 student. By 2023, the grade 1 will be sitting in examinations.
Yeah.
And they could have been well trained about digital literacy
Literacy.
skills. But now you find out some were given, some were not given. So that's why until today, you see those local children's, the ones from our country, they are very happy taking a selfie with a pair of slippers.
I was waiting to hear a phone, but it's so sad. Anyway, so according to the Interior PS, that is Raymond Omolo, our quote, he said that the purpose of the Project Beta is to capacitate our officers to better supervise, coordinate, and oversee effective implementation of national government policies, programs, and projects, with emphasis on the lowest administrative unit being the sub-location, cascaded upwards to the regional level. So, of course, it's going to see a lot of things. And one, of course, it will be able to analyze budgetary allocations and actual expenditure in different regions and counties, as well as, according to the reports, it is fitted with an AI system, that is artificial intelligence, that will be able to evaluate the delayed projects and delay feedback on implementation challenges. So I think that if this works, it's actually going to be something very great in Kenya, considering the fact that even as a world, we are in an era of technological advancements, you know. And before we get into our next question, as we wind up, just a reminder, as Emmanuel has talked about, you can get different apps for different services in Kenya right now through your mobile phone. So try and do that. You can pay your taxes, you can pay your tax returns. I'm an Arabia to biashara. But anyway, if you can, you can. If you can pay for convenience, you can pay for convenience. But you can easily file your tax returns using your phone. I've been using my KRA app, so you can use the same, or better yet, other services. To pay for your NSSF, there's an app for that. To pay for your NHIF, there's an app for that. You don't necessarily need to go to Emmanuel to do that for you.
But
if they reach out, if KRA reach out, of course, we'll find a way of educating people on how these things are happening. So KRA, reach out to us, you know. Anyway, moving forward, we have seen what has been happening since Rigathi Gachagwa's remarks on the disbursement of funds to cater for the El Nino impact in different parts of the country. Now, okay, first of all, number one, to Leona, Kenyans were not prepared. Kenyans were prepared for El Nino. And then the statement that came later on was like, yeah, we're just expecting rains, so no El Nino. And then right now, we are seeing the impact of these particular rains in different regions. And we saw what Rigathi Gachagua, of course, stated, what the Mombasa governor also stated, and then we've now seen Anne Waiguru, who is the CEO and the Council of Governors, of course, come out and give a different statement. I don't know how far along are you with this kind of information, and should there be caution before you actually make some statements, of course, in regards to funds matters Kenya, because the amount that was mentioned was so huge. You know, it was so huge. And then also, is it too late to actually allocate this money, or should the government just go ahead and release the funds already?
You know, one of the challenges that Kenyans and the government will fail to understand is that much of the government promises are not the money they have. So when they come and say that we have set maybe 10 billion for El Nino rains, it does not mean that the National Treasury has the 10 billion allocated. Just like when we say that maybe your budget for this year is going to be 3.5 trillion, it does not mean that the National Treasury has got the 3.5 trillion.
No.
So you find out that the money that's in circulation and in the National Treasury has been allocated for pending bills, maybe for recurring projects, to pay civil servants, to pay for government services, and much of that. So when an emergency like El Nino comes, you find out the money that the government states is not the one that they have allocated. It's the amount that they want to go and look from other means to allocate that money. So you find out maybe there are projects that cannot be completed when there are heavy rains, such as roads. In most cases, most roads are not constructed during the rainy season because you construct and the rain will come and sweep away everything. So find out the government now will look for a mean through the controller of budget and the national treasurer to look for a way in the national budget committee from the parliament to reallocate this money that has been spent here to be moved to the El Nino first. And then when that money for El Nino that was scattered for, when it has been finally found, it will be dispersed to the original projects that they were being meant for. And this one takes some time, but it's being sorted as an act of emergency. So the committee is being called and they do 1 or 2 meetings and then they agree, they do the signatures, and that money is done what? Is being moved. Just like when we talk about the Kimwarel Dam, what happened is that money might not have been really stolen with the bad intentions. What happened then is that the elections were on. And the Jubilee government realized that there was a re-election that came by IEBC not fulfilling what it ought to have done constitutionally. So when Jubilee consulted their members, they agreed, let's use the Kimwarel money to use in campaigns so that when we win election, we went to re-disburse that money. But you know what happened? People disappeared with money. So that's why you find out in our modern day, many will rather take time before accepting for that money to be done with. You know, you as a member of parliament and maybe in the budget committee, you will sit down and say this money would be allocated for maybe this and this amount of kilometers of roads. And then El Nino has come. And then the head of government has hurriedly told you, give out that money very fast. And then you give out. Oh, the same government will not give you the money. Where will you tell Kenyans you took money? And you know how Kenyans were harsh. We tell you you've stolen our money. So what the second in command said, I'm not his sympathizer, but I want to believe from what I heard him say. He was saying that the government, county government, have received money. Of course, they have received money from National Treasury, money for the ones which they normally receive every year from the National Treasury. And what he was telling the Mombasa governor, was telling them, first, use the money you have to solve out this emergency. And then as a government, we will also come in and support you. That's what I want to take from what he had said. I know majority will not want to agree with that. And then the challenge now came on how the governors have come out. So they took it that he said the government has given out the El Nino funds. But I wish now that the temperatures are high, and then it could help the government deliver on time. You know what the deputy president will find is hard is that Kenyans are harsh everywhere. The governors, the council of governors have come to condemn his unfulfilled promises coming, and he was even sad. He was complaining that we given you money. So until Kenyans were being surprised, which money did you give out? So from that point, and the council of governors, they want to protect devolution. It's so bad when the second in command, just actually the command, the second in command, they're one thing. So it's so bad when the national government will say that we have disbursed El Nino money to county governments, and then the same county governments come and maybe keep quiet. So what the council of governors were doing, headed by Annual Guru, is that they have now telling the government, don't lie to us first and to Kenyans. Governors will be killed. People come up and say governors have eaten our El Nino money. So you must be that's why we want to talk about one of the core values of any administration is transparency and honesty. If you have given money, be transparent that we've given this and this amount of money to counties to handle El Nino rains. And finally, maybe about the deputy president, his remarks that becoming too much. When you keep on saying that you keep on lying, you need to lie every time to cover a lie. But the happiness of truth is that Even you say the truth and forget it for centuries, you remember what you said as a truth. So let the government headed by the head and the second in command be always transparent, even to our all leaders. All leaders, we need to be truthful to one ourselves so that we save fast on time as we move on. Because most governors are going to take more time to discuss, but they have not received money. And of course, they have not received.
Yeah.
So they want to call press, they want to make press everywhere. We've not received this money. And the government seeing the presses, they're going to say, Flani and Flani is now against us. You know, like Anne, she's maybe honest to the government. But it does not mean she's now kicking the same government.
No.
Not that she was from Kenya Kwanza and she's in Kenya Kwanza. Now telling the government the truth from her perspective might seem very dangerous. You know, the head, they will say, okay, you are the one leading this. And then they might not be getting the advantages they ought to get as governors, as devolution allows them to have.
And most definitely, so viewers, that is how we are winding up on Ask Siasa. And of course, we've discussed two major issues. But the question that I'm posing to you guys also is that the state has actually unveiled a digital platform to monitor development of projects as well as other things. And is it something that you think is going to work in Kenya? If so, how can it be made better? Or what are some of the things that you'd also want the Kenyan government to implement, or better yet, be transparent about in a digital way that can reach out to every single person? What are the advantages and the disadvantages? And please feel free to tell us that on the comment section, as well as we have touched on the issue of El Nino funds, seeing what the Council of Governors has talked about, as well as what Rigathi Gachagua has talked about. But we are still saying during this El Nino season or during this rain season, please be cautious. Take care of yourselves. Avoid crossing flooded places more, and that just take care of yourself. And we're going to be leaving you with this video of Anne Waiguru. Yes, and remember, Ask Siasa is all about your opinion. We're going to see you tomorrow.
We wish to state that the county governments have not received any allocation